Class 12th Economics students, good morning. So today we are going to learn the second volume, which one no? That is Indian Economic Development. Already we learned 4 chapters from the macroeconomics. So this is the second volume for you. How many marks will be coming in that one? 40 marks it carries. The Indian economic development, it carries 40 marks for the boards. Okay, so what are the divisions of the chapters? It is divided, totally 10 chapters are there. It is divided into 3 topics. First to third chapter, it carries 12 marks. It is completely based on the Indian economy. The second part is from 4th chapter to the 9th chapter. These are all coming under the second category. So 22 marks are coming in that category. Then the last 10th chapter. So India, we are all comparing India along with our neighboring countries, Pakistan and China. It carries 6 marks. So totally the Indian economic development, it carries 40 marks. So now we are going to learn the first chapter of the Indian economic, the IED. The first chapter is the Indian economy before independence. So what is the name of the first chapter? Indian economy before independence. How was it? These are all the things. So first of all, what is called as an economy? See, so that is the economic activities from the 3 sectors. Which are the 3 sectors? Primary, secondary and tertiary. So the economic activities from the 3 sectors, and it is related to the people of the country. Why this is related along with the people of the country? In order to know the standard of living of the people. Standard of living of the people. So this is called as an economy. So how was it before independence? See, first of all we will see, we were all just the feeder economy. What is the meaning of the feeder economy? Because India was one of the colonies to the Britishers. One of the colonies to the Britishers. So why Britishers came to India? What was the reason? So first one is the first reason, India. So we were the suppliers of, that is the raw materials. Second one, we are the market for the finished goods. So they marketed their own goods in India. The third one is the spreading of Christianity. For 3 reasons they came to India. So why we are all calling India as a feeder economy? We supplied the raw materials to the British industries. Second one, the finished goods that came from their own industries to India to sell to the Indian people. That is the main thing. So, okay. So, in what way we can know about the growth of the Indian economy, the economical development? There are 2 indicators are there. First indicator is nothing but the national income. Already we studied in the macroeconomics, national income. So, what is the base for the national income? GDP. What is called as a GDP? The total market value of all final goods and services produced in a country in a year, plus some of the incomes we have to receive from the foreign country. This is called as the national income. So this is the first indicator to know about the economic development of a country. The second one is the per capita income. So what is called as a per capita income? See, the average person's income or the single person's income. Any formula to know about the per capita income? So, the total national income divided by the total population of a country. This is called as the single person's income or the per capita income. How we will get that as average income of a classroom, average marks of that is a class. So the total marks of the children divided by the total number of children. In the same way, we have to calculate the per capita income of a country, total national income divided by the total population. Okay. So who was initiated in that matter to find out the two indicators? That is Dr. V.K.V. Rao. He only initiated himself to find out the national income as well as the per capita income in those times. So what was the national growth in those times? It was just about 2% per annum. See, that is the situation of India. Per capita income was just 0.5% or 0.5% per annum that was there in India, because Britishers did not concentrate for the development of our country. Okay, so the second topic is come to the first sector of the Indian economy. First one is the agricultural sector. How was it? So they appointed the intermediaries. In what way? Zamindari system, Mahalwari system, Rayatwari. So what they were all doing? So the Indians, they were the mediators between the Britishers as well as our Indian peasants in order to collect the taxes as well as the revenues from us. In what way this was affected our Indian peasants? Even without getting proper yield also, they compelled Indian peasants to settle their own taxes, and they were handed over to the Britishers. In that way, the situation was there. The second one is the forced commercialization of agriculture. So example, that is the indigo plantation, how that was there in India. The third one is the partition of our country. They divided India into East Pakistan as well as the India, Bangladesh, in that way. Because in those times, that is the jute growing areas that was there in East Pakistan, but the industries were there the jute industries were there in India. So in that way, purposely they made, because of this thing, agricultural sector did not grow much in those times. Come to the secondary sector, that is called as the industrial sector. How was it in those times? So, deindustrialization was promoted by the Britishers. They did not allow Indians to start the industries. Second one is even the handicraft industries in those times that was declined. Third one is the capital good industries also that was lacking in those times. Then the limited operation of the public sector that was there during the British period. Then they purposely made the discriminatory trade policy or the tariff policy. Tariff means the taxation, how that was made by them. So it was most favorable to the Britishers and did not make any favoritism to the Indian people. Okay, business people. Next one is the first time the railways that was introduced in India. Even the heavy and basic industries that was in a low level in India. This was the situation of the industrial setup that was there during the British period. So come to the third one is the foreign trade. How was it during the Britishers' time? The foreign trade, how was it? We exported the raw materials to the British industries and we imported the finished goods from their own country to India. Okay, these are all coming under the part 1. Now we are going to see the foreign trade in the part 2 of the Indian economy before independence. So how was the foreign trade? So we exported only the raw materials to the British industries, imported the finished goods from their own country. They did not make any effort for our own industries in those times. But if you take the demographic condition, what is called as a demography? So study about the population, not demography. Demography means study about the population. That means study about the population. This is called as the demography. So we were all there in the first stage. What is the first stage? Which of the first stage? Demographic transition theory. We were all there in the first stage of the demographic transition theory. What is the first stage? That means more death rate, death as well as the birth rate. Everything was very high. This is called as the first stage of the demographic transition theory. So in that way, the population growth was compensated. So death rate was just 40% in those time. Birth rate was 48%. In that way, both the things were compensated. Next one is the high infant mortality rate. High infant mortality rate was very high. So 218 babies were died from every 1,000 babies. So that was there in the Britishers' time. The third one is the mass illiteracy that was there. Mass illiteracy that was there. So what is the mass illiteracy? That is in the 84% of the illiterate people, they were all there in India. Then the low life expectancy that was prevalent in India. Low life that is expectancy that was there. What is called as a life expectancy? The average age of the person to live in our country, that was only 44 years. Now it is 68.6% that is there. In the Britishers' time, the life expectancy was only 44 years. Next one is that is low standard of living that was there. The standard of living was very low. So most of the people, their earning capacity was very low, and most of them from 80 to 90%, they were all using their own income only for their own basic survival or the basic needs. The next one is the lack of public health facilities was that was there. That means the public health facilities was very low during the Britishers' time. Then female literacy, that was only 7% in those time. So that was the category of the demographic situation that was there in our country. First one is so more death rate as well as the birth rate. In that way, the population growth was compensated. Infant mortality rate, how was it? 218 babies for every 1,000 babies. Then mass illiteracy, 84% of the people were illiterates. Then what is the life expectancy? 44 years. What is the standard of living? That means that was very low. 80 to 90% of the income that was spent only for to satisfy their own basic needs. Female literacy rate, that was only 7% in those times. So if you take that's the infrastructural growth, infrastructure, it was a very worst condition. Infrastructure that was in a worst condition during the British period. So the road facility, electricity generation, health, education, communication. So that was in a low level in our country, because Britishers, what was their intention? Bring the raw materials from India, marketing their own goods in India. That was there. But some sort of the positive side was there during the British time. In which are the areas? First of all, the railways was introduced because of the Britishers. Second one is they developed that support facilities. Why they have concentrated in that one? Because railways will collect all the raw materials from the nearby areas through if they are developing, concentrating in the ports, definitely they can send the goods to their own mother country, their own industries. So they concentrated in the railways. Second one is the port that was introduced, that was developed. Third one is the post and telegraph services also introduced by the Britishers. and they made the strong administrative setup in India. Then the political and economic unification that was there during the Britishers' time. The last one is the banking and monetary system that was developed by the Britishers. In that way, some positive sides also we have seen during the Britishers' time. So, what are the expected questions in that one? First one is they will ask about the agriculture. Definitely a question will be coming for the boards. So, explain the agricultural sector during the British period. Then the industrial sector, in what way this will be asked. So, give the reasons for the slow growth of the industries in India and demographic condition also. We are all expecting some questions in that one. Is it clear? Study well, children. Thank you.